Today I wanted to do a quick overview and tutorial of Grok, and specifically the web interface of Grok. Grok now has its own website at grok.com. Before, you could only access it through x.com. So let's just take a look at it real quick and try a couple things. I want to show you a couple of key features of it that make it really nice. Currently, it's supposed to be, they're always ranking the AI chatbots, and currently it's supposed to be at the top as far as the most advanced and the best one currently. It just took that spot when they just put out Grok 3 recently. So to use Grok, it's like any other chatbot. You have a box right here that you type your question. And so the first question we're going to do real quick, we're going to do, who are the top 10 best guitar players? So we're going to do that, and you can see it replies relatively quickly. Pause there a second. So it gives us a list pretty fast right here. So now I'm going to go over here up to the top. This is where our chat history is here. And I'm going to go create a new chat. We're going to start over so that it's a total new chat. So if you kept the same chat, it keeps the context of what you're saying in the particular chat. And so it's always good to start a new chat, particularly if you start a new subject. So I'm going to use the same question here, but I'm going to click on Deep Search. In Deep Search, it does more research on it. So it goes out onto the web and it does really detailed research, which is a really nice feature in this, and the way it's implemented is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do this search right here. Now you can see Deep Search up on the left here, and it's counting the seconds of how long it's taking to research it. So it's thinking more about it, but it's also going out and going to more resources, finding more up-to-date information. And it's looking at each one of those right now, and it's going through a set of steps to analyze it. And it's doing more research, and it's thinking more on it. So it will take longer for it to put out the deep search, but it gives you more information, and it actually references what information and what web pages it went to research it. So you can see down here it has the number of pages that it's looking at. 38 currently. It's verifying the list, and it's come up with it, and it's so it went through 145 sources that it looked at in 55 seconds. Sometimes it takes a little longer. You can ask it the same question. It might take a little longer sometimes, but it has 38 pages that it looked at. It's given us a list, and it's gone into more detail of it. Now, we asked it the exact same question, but it automatically goes into more detail. And you could actually specify you wanted even more detail, or specifically what you wanted in that detail. We can click here on where it says 38 web pages, and it will list them over here, which is nice because then it will allow us to go to look at the sources and kind of verify them and see what the sources say. And so that's a very nice feature, because a lot of times when you have an AI chatbot do research for you, or you ask it a question, you want to be able to verify it. So it actually has the sources, and makes it easy for you to go to the sources. If we hit this little X up here, it will close that box off. So that's the second way that we can do a search. Usually you probably want to use the deep search unless you really wanted to get into detail. If you just want a quick question, you're just going to do the kind of standard question without deep search highlighted. I'm going to go back up here. If we go up here is our history, and before this video I already had to create a list, and this list right here, I think it is. This is the other list that I did in using the deep search. And this one, it looked at only 33 sources, and it kind of quotes 13 different web pages that it went to. We can look at those over here once again, or we can shut this down. The interesting thing about this one is it actually created a table of scores and everything. So you can actually do deep search more than once to see how it responds, or you can do deep search once and add specifications, asking it maybe to do a table like this, or to do specific things in it. So I'm going to go back up here again, and we're going to create a new chat. We're going to ask the same question a third time, but this time we're going to click on Think. And Think gives Grok the ability to take longer to think about things. So part of what AI does, the different AI chatbots do, is they can think longer about things. And so typically by default, you would want it to answer pretty quickly. You don't want to ask a question and have to wait 2 minutes for every question. But if you give it more time, in general, it will come up with a better answer and a more detailed answer. So we're going to tell it to think, and we're going to run the exact same question again. So now it's thinking, and it's going through all of this stuff up here. You can see kind of what it's doing, and it's running. It's running a timer to see how long it takes. All right, so now it gave us just a simple list again, but it thought longer about it. Now we can go up here, explain for details, and if we go up here and click this little arrow here, it tells you how it thought. It told you its thought process. And this is really good, particularly for things like if you tell it to write code or something, or you tell it to analyze something deeply, and you want to see what it went through. So it will actually tell you what it considered when it did these rankings of guitar players. So you can actually see how it's thinking in the processes it went through. Let's close that back down again to get its list. So that's another nice function. So when you tell it to think, it will actually tell you not only think longer, but it will record the processes that it's going through, and it will tell you how it came up with that answer. So if you want a deeper analysis of how it's thinking and how it came up with the answer, that would be the way to go. So we've got really 3 basic ways that we can ask it a question. One is just to ask it a question, and it will answer pretty much as quickly as it can. The next one is it will do a deep search, and it will go research it, go out and research it, get you the latest information on it, and go through multiple sources, and then compile those multiple sources. Think about it and give you the best answer that it can, and it will take longer to do than just a regular search. But it will also give you a list of sources, or at least some of the sources that it's looked through, like the ones that are available on the web. And it will give you links to those, so you can go back and look at them and check them and see what those articles actually say. And then the third thing is you can get it to think, which will give it longer time to think about it. And so we'll take the information that it has. It doesn't really go out and do an extensive web search, it doesn't look like, but it does take information that it has and it thinks about it. But it also allows you to look at the thought process that it had to come up with the answer. And another thing that's useful about that method of doing it, if you can see its thought process, you can go back and re-ask the question and tell it to modify that thought process in some way, or you can use the knowledge of that thought process to ask it additional questions or tell it to consider different things about it. And you can also see what it was thinking. So the nice thing about that is if it answers the question, you have a question about why it picked a certain guitar player, you could actually just directly ask it that. But also you can go in and you can see, oh, well, this is the logic it's using. Maybe I need to clarify my question or whatever. So that's basically how you use Grok. Those are just how to do a basic search and how to do a deep search and how to make it think more. And that's it for the video now. I may do some more videos on Grok in the future to show some of the other functionality of it and other ways to use it. Today I was just using the free version of it. So if you're using another chatbot, you can check out Grok to see how you like it. And my recommendation would be pretty much with any chatbot. If you're using an AI chatbot and you're trying to figure out whether you should get the paid version of it or a more advanced version or pay a little more for a different tier or whatever, check out the free tier first and see if you run out of time to use it, or if you're really using it before you go out and pay for the full version. So use it a while before you pay for a full version, and certainly use it a while before you and test out the free version before you go to see if you're going to switch over from a chatbot you currently have.